Mike built his HVAC business from nothing to 2.5 million in annual revenue over 27 years. But when he finally decided to sell and retire, buyers were only offering half of what he thought it was worth. Why? Because Mike was missing 4 factors that HVAC buyers are really looking for. If you get these right, you could double or even triple your sale price. Hi, if you don't know me, I'm Tom, a certified financial planner and owner of Beyond Your Exit Wealth Management, and we help owners like you prepare for a successful retirement after selling your business. In my experience, the business will be your largest asset and will contribute the most towards funding your retirement. So I've interviewed some of the top HVAC brokers and business coaches in this space to understand exactly what buyers are looking for when selling your HVAC business. So in this video, I'll share 4 strategies from real-world experience that have helped HVAC business owners sell for top dollar, and I'll discuss the biggest mistakes that can cause deals to fall apart at the last minute. So let's start with the first one, which is get out of the van. The first key factor buyers are looking for is how much the business can run without you. Think about this from a buyer's perspective. They are looking for a business, not another job, right? They won't write you a big check if you're still riding in the van day after day on the road seeing customers. As one broker told me, the bigger the separation between you and the business, the more a buyer will pay for it. If you're still the main technician, if you're the one still taking emergency calls or handling all the sales, you built yourself a job, not a sellable asset. Think about what happens when you leave if you're the main point person. All your customer relationships and all your technical expertise walk right out the door with you, right? That's an immediate red flag for buyers. One of my clients was working just 1 day a week in his business, and his wife maybe came in once a month. So by the time he sold, he got nearly double the offer of another owner with similar revenue who was still running service calls. Now, getting out of the van is a great first step, but in order to get out of the van, how do you hire quality techs and make sure they have enough work? That takes us to strategy number 2, which is business consistency and maintenance agreements. And more specifically, building your company on service, repair, and maintenance instead of just one-time jobs. When buyers look at your business, they're really buying predictable future cash flow. They want to see steady, consistent revenue that doesn't fluctuate all over the place from month to month. So having maintenance agreements and building your membership base can drastically help with this. One HVAC business I worked with had about 1,600 active maintenance agreements, and those agreements were generating over 20 to 30% of their total revenue, which can look really good to buyers, but it can also provide some peace of mind to you as the owner, knowing that your payroll is already covered in the next month, or that your advertising and truck expenses are already covered. Another big benefit is that it can provide some stability in the business. And if you can grow your membership base to start generating more than 50% of your revenue, that will certainly start attracting buyers because maintenance agreement customers provide predictable recurring revenue every single month. They stay loyal to your company for years, not just until their system needs to be replaced. They give your technicians more opportunities to be in your customers' homes, building a relationship. And they can reduce marketing costs by 5 to 10% because you built up this loyal customer base, and you may reach a point where you don't have to market as heavily to get new customers, so your customer acquisition cost goes down. Now, a lot of HVAC owners I meet are doing okay financially, but have almost no maintenance agreements. They're essentially starting from zero every single month as if you're starting a brand new business every January. And I know what this is like. When I first got into financial services over a decade ago, everything was commission-based and it was an eat what you kill model. So every month the clock resets back to zero, and over time it just can get exhausting. So maintenance agreements can help you avoid this. But there's more to consistency than just maintenance agreements. You also need long-term employees who generate that revenue and who can take your place being in the van going to see the customers. Buyers want to see that you've invested in training your team. One company I work with spends up to $30,000 a year on education and training. And that's not an expense in the buyer's eyes. That's actually an investment that increases your sale price. So invest in your team, give them the resources to grow and lead within your company. The better your team gets, the more you can delegate, which means the more separation you'll have from the business, which means it'll be worth more to buyers. Now, even with great maintenance agreements in place and when you have a stable team, there's another factor that can completely tank your sale value. And it's the number one reason that's always brought up by brokers who try to sell heating and air companies that causes deals to collapse. And that's the importance of having clean financial records. More specifically, accurate financial records that align with your tax return, because you can't cheat the government twice, right? Meaning you can't take all these deductions to reduce your taxable income for years, then expect someone to come in and pay you for profit that you've been hiding all that time, right? Buyers typically want to see 3 years of financials and tax returns. Your P&Ls need to match your tax returns because buyers are buying income and cash flow, and the tax returns are how they verify it's real and that you can prove it. Now, I understand this sounds counterintuitive, especially coming from someone like myself who actually helps business owners reduce their lifetime tax bill. But if you can show more profit, yes, you'll pay more in taxes, but your valuation will go up. And if you sell, you'll make much more on the back end as opposed to saving a few $1,000s in taxes from taking a deduction. One broker shared with me that clean books and records are directly tied to getting a higher multiple. A business showing $300,000 in clean, provable profit might sell for $900,000 to $1.5 million on a 3 to 5x multiple. But with messy financials, buyers will either walk away completely or significantly lower their offer because you can't prove it. Now, there's another challenge to be aware of here, and that's most buyers use bank financing. Banks are incredibly strict about lending on HVAC businesses, and they want to see everything documented properly. If your books are a complete mess, the bank won't approve the loan and your deal could literally fall apart. I had a client who was running too many personal expenses through his business. So they were doing vehicles, cell phones, travel, and when it came time to sell, buyers wouldn't value these add backs the way he expected. He had to delay his retirement by 2 years because he needed to clean up his financials. So the reality is you'll need to pay more taxes in the years leading up to your sale, but paying an extra $30,000 in taxes might mean getting $300,000 more for your business. And I'll take that trade all day because that's a 10x return. Now, there's one more important strategy that can make or break your sale, and that's to avoid new construction. Various HVAC brokers have suggested that what buyers look for is a focus on service, maintenance, and repair rather than new construction. Here's why new construction work is a major red flag for buyers. It's based on price competition, and you're probably the cheapest guy in town. It relies on relationships with builders that leave when you do. It's an industry that gets slaughtered when the economy is doing poorly, and most banks won't even finance a business with more than 20% new construction revenue because it's just too risky. One broker straight up told me new construction is a race to the bottom. General contractors aren't loyal. When you leave, they leave too. Now compare this to residential-focused businesses, which have higher gross margins, loyal customers who value quality over price, predictable, repeatable revenue through all economic cycles, and they have relationships with the company, not just with you, the owner. It becomes really hard to compete with, especially if you're trying to attract buyers. And one more bonus tip or mistake that I see from owners, especially in the years right before they go to market, is slowing down as they approach retirement. They take more vacations, work fewer hours, and as a result, revenue starts to decline. This can kill your chances if you're planning to sell. When buyers see declining numbers, it's a huge red flag because they're looking for growth potential, right? Not a business in decline. So as you approach retirement and stepping away, keep your foot on the gas right up until the day you do a deal. When these 4 pieces come together, your business transforms from a job into a valuable asset that buyers will pay more money for. But keeping the highest price is only part of the equation. You also need to know your net number and how much you will actually get that goes into your pocket after paying off business debt, broker commissions, and most importantly, taxes. So click this video here where I walk through an actual breakdown of the hidden costs that come up when you're selling your business and how that can affect the amount you take home after a sale. So click the video and I'll see you over there.